Welcome to the Spiritual and Empowerment Living with Tia podcast, a sacred place and resource for spiritually centered women who want to go from the mundane to the magical life, for overcoming fear and doubt, reconnecting with the goddess, understanding messages from spirit, and uncovering your spiritual gifts so you can finally live the life you deserve. Hello and welcome back, Spiritual Trailblazer. Welcome to Tia Scope, Full Moon in Leo. Oh, what a cool episode. And I'm saying that because there's a lot of Leo in my chart. I mentioned it before on the podcast, and I always find this so fascinating because my friend, who is well into astrology, actually broke down my astrological chart and explained that to me. When she saw the chart that shows you your, I don't want to say coordinates, but what degree, what zodiac sign is in it, what house, she looked and said, you have a lot of Leo in your chart and you're really only 14% Virgo. I'm like, okay, that explains a lot. So I like the Leo zodiac sign. And I like diving into zodiacs because it really helps you to understand a person, in particular their rising, moon, and sun sign. At least for people like me who don't fully understand astrology, but those three areas, I'm like, okay, I can get it at least before we dive into what planet or like what correspondences you have in your chart in relation to Venus and Jupiter. I'm still learning it. And I like to say things like that because I like to tell you when I don't know something, when I do know something, when I know a little bit about something, uh, because we're all learning. And I want to be as authentic and real with you as possible. And also, I wouldn't want someone else telling me something that they didn't know a whole lot about, and they're trying to pass themselves off as the subject matter expert. Which leads me to why I do the Tia scopes. And I always do this intro in case anyone's new to this. I started doing the Tia scope, which is really just a combination of horoscope, right? Even though I'm not really giving a horoscope, but a lot of energies impact us. And the older I got, the more I started diving into my spirituality and expanding my knowledge. I realized just how important it is to understand uh, these moon phases and the zodiacs that add to the the energies that impact us. Now, I get that astronomy isn't for everyone, and some people don't care. On a spiritual path, that's not for them. They couldn't care less, but it is important because we are impacted by it. So it's up to you. I wanted to do these episodes also because I wanted to understand what was going on, and sometimes it can be overwhelming when someone who is in that field deeply explains it. Sometimes people forget that when you talk to an audience, they aren't necessarily at the same level as you. They may know some terminologies, they may understand a few things, but uh, let's just break it down. And I get the funnies when people say, "Oh, cancers do this, Scorpios do that." That's all well and good, but what does that mean on a day-to-day basis when you got to go to work, when you got to take care of the kids, when you got to get out of bed in the morning? Why are you staying in bed more often? Why do you feel this heightened energy like you got to do something? Why? Well, let's talk about it. So, uh, in a nutshell, I do some research. And I found a website that I really like, and I included in the description for the show and all the TS goes. Once I found this website, it's Astrology King. It's pretty awesome. So I will give you the links for you to further your research, as I always recommend. I am one person presenting one slice of this pie, and I can hear my little bit of feedback there. I'm still with this mic. All right. Um, so yeah, I like to look at it from the perspective of what day it falls on. Of course, the zodiacs that apply, how we're feeling, what should we be doing? And again, those are recommendations, they're guidelines, is not set in stone. And to give you some insight on the planets that are impacting us. Also, I'm going to pull an oracle card at the end. I already pulled it, but I'm going to talk about it. I'm so excited. I got this new deck from Tamed Wild. It's called Wow Moon Lunar Phase Deck. It's so pretty. I love it. I can't wait to talk about the card that I pulled for you guys. All right. So we have full moon in Leo on a Thursday. Let's talk about this for a minute because we have a couple of planets that we can look at here. Of course, the moon. Okay, we have our intuition, divine feminine energy. Dreams are more potent, or at least you tend to remember them more. And just a sidebar, if you are one of the people who are saying right now, Tia, I don't remember my dreams. I don't think I dream. I don't dream. Trust me, everyone dreams. Not everyone remembers their dreams, but everyone dreams. Okay. And it's just a matter of training yourself to remember your dreams and then remember it in its entirety. Okay. So you're not having, little Instagram story, 15-second dream memories. We got the whole shebang. All right. So that's the moon. Okay. Full moon on top of that. So again, the intuition and stuff like that. Then we have Thursday, which is Jupiter Day. If you remember, I have a blog series where I talk about the magical days of the week. So if you are new to this podcast and you didn't hear about it in the earlier podcast, go to my blog, is blog.tiamariejohnson.com, and you could type in magical with a K, days of the week, or just type in Thursday if that's easier. And you will see the 7 days of the week, correspondences, planetary correspondences, spell recommendations, some of the origins of the words, deity correspondences, all that jazz. So for Thursday, it's Jupiter, and that's the money day. That's finances, that's all that good stuff. So if you want to launch something, you may want to do it on a Thursday. It's a good day. It's that energy. All right. Now, according to the astrology king, Mars is also a planet with a huge impact on what's going on right now. So I thought that was interesting because Mars, if you remember again from that blog post series, Mars is a planet that has the energy of aggression, courage, uh, just really getting out there, a go getter. It's really fearless energy almost. And Mars is actually the planet for Tuesday, just to keep that in mind. So we have the moon, which is kind of like a subtle, easygoing kind of energy. Then you have Jupiter, which is kind of an excitement energy, the money energy. It can also be a little bit frightening to some people and talk about finances a little bit uncomfortable. But generally speaking, money, society. And then we have the aggression, the courage of Mars. And aggression doesn't have to necessarily be a bad thing. You could be aggressive towards what you want to achieve in life. So we have those three major elements in this full moon. Okay, so I want you to just take that and put it on your back burner just for a few seconds, okay? Because, like I said, it's a hefty energy. Mars is a huge planet. Jupiter is a big planet. So there's a lot of energy there. Okay. Now we have the zodiacs. Leo. Again, one of my favorite signs. Some of the correspondences for Leo. include being creative, passionate, generous, warm-hearted, cheerful, humorous. Interesting because Mars has to do with being passionate in a way. When you're aggressive, you tend to be passionate about what you want. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then with the creative part, the moon influences also water and our intuition, the water, our emotions, that can lead us to being creative in a lot of ways. Our intuition give us nudges to do certain things that can enhance our creativity. So again, pretty cool that creative is there. Now, some of the other side of the coin, I'm not saying weaknesses, but the other side of the coin for Leo include being arrogant, stubborn, self-centered, lazy, and inflexible. Uh, now, with I said this before in other Tia scopes. The weaknesses part of these zodiacs, and I'm on astrology zodiac signs. I'll link that in the bio or bio. I'll link it in the description for this episode. Can you tell I'm on social media often? Link in bio. Oh my gosh. Uh, some of these things in a way can be subjective. Like, yes, are there arrogant people? Yes. Are there self-centered, lazy, inflexible, stubborn people? Yes. But I also feel like it depends who you ask, right? Sometimes, especially we see this with women, oh, she's arrogant, she's a diva. It's like, no, she's not arrogant, she's not a diva. She's confident, she knows what she wants, and she's asking you to do A, B, and C because that's what she delegated to you, and now she's expecting you to deliver. Okay, is that being arrogant? No, it's being confident and executing delegation or using your authority to delegate. All right, stubborn. We could look at that and think, well, maybe someone is saying, no, this is my non negotiable. I'm not budging. This is my standard. This is my boundary. Same thing being self centered. Is it self centered or are you just really caring about yourself? You don't have time for people's drama. Lazy. You're not working on other people's time. And inflexible. Same thing with non negotiable. So I like to do that because sometimes it's easy to get a bad rap. A bad rep. I said rap. That's why I paused. I'm like, wait a minute, did I say rap? A bad reputation. Um, because of what you believe in, what you stand for. So I want to reel that in here because that plays a part in this full moon. Okay, so remember what I said about that. And I'm not even going to go into the planetary correspondence because that's a lot. You can read this when you click the link. All right, now going back to Astrology King. While yes, this is a full moon in Leo, in the sky, if you have a telescope, you could look into this. This phase falls into the constellation of Cancer. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm still trying to understand how a phase could be in one zodiac, but then fall into the constellation of another. But again, go to Astrology King and he explains it better than I. I will say this. It states the sign of Leo is actually in the constellation of Cancer. This discrepancy is due to the precession of the equinoxes, which has moved the sun signs almost a whole sign out of alignment with the constellations from which they were named over 2,000 years ago. So there's some Cancer influence in this full moon, okay, or at least an association. All right. So let's just take a moment to look at the Cancer zodiac. All right. And I want to just talk about this briefly because again, it matters. It's the energy that plays a part in this. Okay. And of course, it's a water sign and the ruler's moon. So tenacious, highly imaginative, loyal, emotional, sympathetic, excuse me, persuasive. And then on the other side of the coin for Cancer is moody, pessimistic, suspicious, manipulative, insecure. So we can use this energy, and we're probably feeling a little bit like this, right? Imagining what a different life would be right now, minus all the craziness going on, wanting to maybe escape and really express yourself, just do things differently. And you're just imagining that. And the list goes on. So I don't want to get too much into Cancer. I talked a lot on Leo. I want to get more to the meat and potatoes of this episode. Now that I talked about um, the energies. Oh, I'm glad I did my notes real quick. I meant to say this in the beginning. As a side note, Mercury retrograde is coming the 30th of January to the 21st of February. But listen, I talked about this on my Instagram and other places. Please do not panic. I've received text messages, regular messages, emails. Listen, when Mercury is in retrograde, it's really a heads up that you may have some miscommunications. You may have some technology issues. And I'm saying this now because we feel the full moon energy plus and minus 3 days. So the full moon is the 28th, Mercury retrograde starts the 30th. So it's still picking up on that full moon energy. And some people feel a little bit longer. I did a poll where I asked people, do you think you feel it a week before? Some people say that's impossible. I don't know about that, but nevertheless, here we are. So don't let fear overtake you where you feel like you can't do anything, you can't sign anything, you can't agree to any contracts. This is about really understanding 100% what you're getting yourself into, what you're co-signing on, what you are endorsing. Okay. So if you are sending emails, double check your emails before you send it. Okay. You sending a text message, make sure that you double check the person who you're sending a text message to. Okay. Make sure that you are double checking before you do this, and make sure you check on the tone of your voice and how you are communicating to yourself and others during this Mercury retrograde. Okay. But don't be afraid. It's not some time for you to panic. It's just to give you an added precaution. And I've discovered that it's called Mercury retrograde because it appears that the planet Mercury, or that the constellation, is going backwards, but it's not. It's like an illusion. So there you have it. That's the side note, as it really falls under the full moon energy. All right, now back to our regularly scheduled program. All right, so how are we feeling during this time? Now, outside of what we're feeling due to the craziness that's going on in the world, with full moon energy compounding with the energies of the zodiac and things of that nature, the planetary influences as well, you're probably feeling something like a sense of heightened passion, courage, maybe even a little bit of recklessness. Um, and I say that in that way because right now is I don't want to say reckless time, but it's unprecedented times. And we may be doing a few things unorthodox, but say la vie. This is what I mean. Like, it's an unorthodox time. It's, so just keep that in mind. Um, or you could really be reckless, but just be more conscious about what you are doing and how you're feeling. So don't be so impulsive too. I've been seeing this for the last few days now, to just slow it down a little bit. Don't be so much in a haste to get things done. Just pace yourself. Okay. Plan, or plan better for that matter. Okay. So really think about how you're feeling at this time. You may even be feeling restless. You may feel like, oh my gosh, like how can I release this energy? Like I got an idea. Your imagination is kicking off. So we got out of the way how you're feeling. And again, based on time, you don't even have to write it down. For example, I like to talk out loud, right? Writing, I love to write, but more like creative writing. So with this, just start thinking about how are you feeling right now? Really be honest with yourself. Don't sugarcoat it. If you feel like you want to say, you know what, Tia, I'm feeling kind of shitty right now. Write it, get it out your system because that's where it needs to be. It needs to be out your system, right? And it could be that it's not even so much that you're a shitty person or anything like that. It's just you're feeling off. You're feeling a little bit out of sorts. There are a lot of things going on. The full moon is here. You might say, Tia, I just feel really tired, restless. Just be honest about truly how you feel. I feel uneasy. I feel like I don't know what the hell is going on. I just get it out your system, whether you talk about it out loud, whether you write it down on paper or you write it down in your journal, whatever. Get it out your system. Okay. And think about it for a little bit and give yourself some credit because I'm willing to bet that you have achieved and done way more than you thought you have done. And give yourself a round of applause for anything you've accomplished. I know I said in the previous episode where I said, small wins, big wins, give yourself a round of applause. So just remember that, okay, and process that, and then you will see that there are more than one thing that you can give yourself credit for, and I don't care what it is. So you need to think about that because I believe in you, and I know that you have some accomplishments, and I know that what you're feeling, it is definitely valid, but also take time to reflect on that. And with the full moon, another symbol is that it's bright, even though it doesn't really shine, but it's illuminating. So, how can you illuminate situations where you feel in a certain way? Like, how can you shine light on that and think about the actual issue at hand? And then give yourself some time to recuperate, right? Because as I was saying earlier, this is a time to pace yourself in a way and then you can speed up, but right now it's just thinking about the emotions that you got going on right now and how you get through them, like with any full moon with heightened emotions. Okay, so let's look at what we can do. Again, a certain guidelines, recommendations. Okay, think about the obstacles that are in your path right now because there's going to be a time soon where, as I was saying a few moments ago, things are going to speed up a little bit. So, in order for it to speed up, we have to get over a few obstacles. So, really think about what you want to achieve for the next 90 days. Okay. Think about some of the things you want to achieve this week. All right. And it, you can talk about it. What are some obstacles in your path? Do you need to hire a mindset coach? Do you need to create an Excel spreadsheet for your budget? Remember, full moon's on a Thursday, finances. Do you need to talk about, your aggression or anger? Get out your system. What is it that you are currently doing that you are experiencing an obstacle? Okay. And it doesn't have to be that deep as digging into your finances, as understanding where your anger comes from and dealing with that. It can be as simple as, just understanding what to get rid of in your life because you no longer need it. Sometimes an obstacle can be small and then it's easy to dismiss it For example, do you have a cluttered room? Do you have clothes tossed somewhere? Do you have clothes that have holes in it? Do you have like old magazines? Do you have bags that you're saving for some random time? What's taking up space in your life, in your house, apartment, wherever you live? Is there someone in your life that you're just looking at and thinking, why am I even talking to you? Okay, what are the obstacles in your life that are also small? It's so easy to overlook certain things. So just think about, what do you no longer need? That's something that's been coming up for me a lot too. When I compare 2020, really before the pandemic, so January, February, and partial 19, and then now, there were a lot of things that I didn't need in my life that I was putting up with and didn't realize it. And in 2020, I had more than enough time. I had an ample amount of time to really think about what truly serves me and what does not. And this isn't about a little side hobby you have that takes up your time, and people are just like, "Oh my gosh, why are you playing? I don't know, pickleball or something like that." Um, and it's just like, because I like it. It's not an obstacle for me. This is a thing I love to do, and it's fun. I might join a league or something like that. So I said that because some people may try to influence you to think that something may be an obstacle in your life, to make you think that your anger and aggression should be directed to another place. But actually, it's really up for you to decide, right? You decide what is an obstacle for you. Now, can people help you out and say, well, you're not realizing that this thing right here is an obstacle for you? Yeah, sure, of course. I'm not talking about that. And I think that we have enough discernment to understand that. But I say it anyway because so many times people use things like that as an excuse to say, I'm trying to think of an example, to make a blanket statement. Um, I can't do this because something is in the way. I can't, or you shouldn't do that because that's not really going to help you. Why are you taking that class? Why are you doing that? That's only holding you back. You're spending your money where you don't need that mindset coach. I just look at a couple of videos, on YouTube, and I'm okay. Or all you need to do is just go for a walk, or you don't really have to do anything. You're just exaggerating. Oh, you'll get over it. Oh, it's okay. That's what I'm talking about. When people dismiss what you're feeling, dismiss what you like to do, dismiss what's meaningful to you, dismiss what you are saying. And sometimes that causes us to do a double take and second guess our decisions. And then we start doing things because people think we should, as opposed to taking it with a grain of salt and understanding where that information is coming from, comparing that to our lifestyle, what works for us and what doesn't work for us, and what we want and what we don't want. So I wanted to drive that in here. Now, remember what I said earlier, to put on the back burner the planetary correspondences, the energies and the energy of the zodiac sign. Well, here's where that comes in. And here's why I'm really spending a lot of time on obstacles. Because our intuition in relation to Mars, I was going to say Jupiter because I was looking at my notes, in relation to Mars energy of being the go-getter, in relation to prosperity, is one trifecta you can use to help you understand how you want to create a plan for whatever it is you want to do in your life at this moment. Okay, so you could take this full moon, for example, and think, okay, from this full moon to the next full moon, here's what I'm going to work on. And I'm going to tap into my personal energy where I work on my intuition. And that can be you listening to podcasts like this, looking at several videos on YouTube or wherever, reading, that includes me understanding that for me to get to from point A to forget B, D, I need to be assertive, aggressive, confident enough to do this. Now, can I be a little bit scared or nervous? Of course. Being confident doesn't mean you lack being a little bit fearful. I don't care what anyone says. I know sometimes we'll see, oh, confidence and being afraid, whatever, or whatever it is, can't exist in the same space. How many times have we heard superstar athletes, superstar performers in whatever field say, I was nervous. I was a little bit doubtful. I didn't know. I didn't know if I can pull this off, but I did it anyway. And I vetted the people, and I hired the people personally. I did all this. I know it was a lofty challenge to do, with a lofty goal, but I did it. But I was nervous, and I still. Come on, man. We got to stop with this. I get what people are saying when they say, you got to be confident. There's no room for doubt and stuff like that. I understand that. Totally 100%. When you're on the field, when you're speaking, when you're in that zone, when you're 100% present, when it's go time, yeah, that's not there. But right before go time and right after, yeah, it's that, nervousness feeling. Now if you were playing a game and you won, you feel great and you look back like, man, I was nervous, I was crazy, I thought I didn't do that good. I see this all the time where people, they have a certain amount of confidence, but then they get a little bit nervous because whatever is going on, and they still tend to do good. So I want to put that out there too. Using these energies, and when I say using, tapping into, that's really the background research. That's you doing this. That's you looking at websites. That's you looking at yourself, looking at your history. Okay. Now, could you do a spell at this time? Could you do a ritual at this time? You can do whatever the hell you want. Okay. You just got to take precautions. Just like I said, when it was the what was it, a retrograde on Halloween, and it was a full moon, and it was something else, and then it was the lunar eclipse, and it rained, and some people wanted to collect the rainwater, and then it was like, no, don't do anything on the date of the eclipse because the energy is crazy. You can do it. You just got to understand that the energy is a bit crazy. All right. So just understand what you're trying to do. So, what can you do? One, do that planning, look at your emotions, okay? Understand uh where you need that self-control, and a lot of things fall under self-control. Okay? We're falling into a phase where well, more so now than before, where there's the dictionary definition, and then there's our personal, so the connotative, and then the definition in the dictionary. Okay, so how do you define self-control personally? Okay, self-control for some superior athletes was getting up 4 a.m., running, spending hours on the court, tennis court, football court, basketball court, football field, pool, whatever, right? Then working out 2 times a day, hiring a chef, prepare the food and stuff. That's their form of self-control. Your form of self-control could be completely different. But to someone else, that may look completely crazy. Because I tell you one thing, I am not getting up 4 o'clock in the morning to jog unless I'm getting paid to do it. That's crazy. All right. So, but hey, it works for some people. All right. What else can you do? You can use this time to do nothing. You don't hear too many people talk about that. You can do absolutely nothing. Now, could that result in you sleeping in late and getting some prophetic dreams? Yeah. Could that result in something clicking in your mind like, oh, I got it? Yeah. That's the beauty of nothing sometimes. You can create from nothing. Yesterday, I didn't even turn the TV on. I turned on the lamp lights in my home. So I had an ambiance going on, but I didn't turn on any of the main lights. So it wasn't too bright. It was perfect. And that was me. And that was my little space of, in a way, nothing. Relaxing, just pretty much nothing. Just doing a few things on my phone, but not crazy productive. But I got a lot of ideas. I saved a lot of stuff on my Instagram that inspired me. I wrote down a lot of notes. And that's what I'm saying here. So those are three main things. One, you're going to tap into those energies. You're going to really create a plan, figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you for a goal or goals. Okay. Using that aggression, you know, confidence, using your intuition, the nudges you are getting. Okay. Two is you can create spells, you can do rituals. Okay. You can do it. You just got to be cautious about how you're doing it, because if you want to do a ritual, let's say because today's Thursday, you really can't do anything to the weekend because you know you can still tap into that full moon energy. Well, now it's a Mercury retrograde, so be careful with that. All right, you may get your spell may get miscommunicated in the process. Right, think about that. And then three is nothing at all. You know, think about when you walk in a park, you're not really doing much, right? You're just walking, taking in some deep breaths, you're looking at the trees, you're hearing the birds. Not crazy productive, but what happens? You get rejuvenated, you tend to feel a little better, you might get some inspiration, spark some new conversations with yourself. Okay. You might be reminded of something. You might see a cardinal. You might see a sparrow. Okay. There's so many things that can happen in the nothing. All right. Now let's get to the oracle card. All right. Now I pulled the gibbous moon. All right. And it states here inspired connection. Inspired connection. It states here the phase influence, energize, resurgence. We began to feel a deep pulse of momentum flowing through our veins. We stayed vigilant during the cycle, and now on the cusp of the full moon, feel compelled to infuse that vigilance into our intentions. We crave detail. We're hungry for the light. We are beginning to see emanate through the cracks of the vessel, the womb that has almost completed its incubation process. And before I get into the other parts of this card, I'm just going to break that part down real quick. Energize resurgence. This is partially what I was saying earlier, how first we need to slow down a little bit, pace ourselves, and then it's going to be like a, all right, aggression time, let's speed up here. All right. So that's that resurgence. That's that you know, re-energizing coming along. Okay. And that deep pulse of momentum flowing through our veins. That's Mars. Well, spiritual trailblazer, it looks like Mercury retrograde is already starting its mess, because the second half of the reading did not come through in the audio. So clearly there was some internet issue, because I just got a new mic. All right, so here we go. I ended it with Mars, the Mars energy. So next, and I'm trying to remember everything I channeled yesterday. Next, we have the ritual part. And this card is suggesting to work with the Persian goddess Anahita, and I believe that's how you pronounce it, Anahita. Okay, and she is the, as it states here, immaculate uh, Persian goddess of purity and water, can help develop you even more deeply into the flow of this energy. And then, of course, it's telling you to always give thanks. It's recommending a spiritual bath, which we've seen so many times. You take a bath, you put flowers and oils in there, you light the candles, you have that all around you. So with that and the energies that are going on right now, this is a great time to connect with her. Ask her for assistance, for guidance. Do not beat yourself up if you feel like, oh, I don't feel anything or see anything or hear anything. Okay. It takes a little time, it's a little process. And really get real with yourself as you're doing this. Where do you want to be healed? Where are you truly grateful in, or the area in your life that you're truly grateful for? And how can you use this energy of courage, aggression, get her done? And also on Thursday, the money, the finances, maybe you can use some green candles during this time. It's really up to you. There are so many avenues you can take during this time, which is why I like to give you several examples and not say this is how you do it or not at all, and you can't. Okay. Next here, it gives you tea recommendations, lemon balm to calm the nervous system while stimulating the heart. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier, where you're nervous, or nervous, confident, relieved. You're nervous a little bit beforehand. You go to the podium to speak. Do they even have podiums anymore? You go on stage to speak. You're going court to play. At that moment, you're fully confident, you're aware, you're present. And then afterwards, you might think, man, what a relief. Okay, so I look at it more as, I don't even want to say marriage, but it's all part of the team. So check in with your nervous system. This again is heightened energy. Okay, you got the Mars energy, you got the Jupiter energy, you got the moon energy. Okay, so you may even feel yourself go through these phases in one day where you're tapping into your intuition, your feminine divinity, and then you feel bold, like, you know what? I'm going to make something happen today. I'm going to create that PDF, download. I'm going to speak up. I'm going to do something today. And then you might wind the day down with financial planning. You just never know. Or you receive financial gifts. For example, maybe someone wants to treat you to coffee and say, "Hey, let me treat you." So you're not receiving the money per se, but they are essentially giving you money for coffee, but they're also treating you. So it's like, I got the money covered, and also here's the coffee. Um, so think of it like that. You can also use this time to ask yourself how you feel about your finances, the energy that you're experiencing right now. There's a lot of documentation will help you during this with anything. Okay, start documenting your thoughts, your feelings, each cycle of the moon, uh, anything and everything that will help you to understand yourself deeply, help you to understand why these energies impact you. Because what will happen is, as you tap into these energies, as you understand them, as you reflect on them, you're going to see not just your progression, the growth that happens, you are going to see an adventure. You're going to see something where you are the was it protagonist. All right, so you are the person who's going through this hero's journey in a way. Okay, and every step of the way is a I don't want to say a check mark, but it's like a point in time. It's like, okay, I was in this. I'm just using the analogy here, but it's like you go to this village, you have an experience, and maybe they'll welcome you back, like, "Oh, we love her. She's amazing. She can come to our tavern anytime." And then you go to another village, and you don't have a good experience. They're just nasty, rude, disgusting people, and you leave. And the village, I'm using that as an example of chapters in your life, okay, where this one chapter, because life is a road, is a journey, right? It's a path. So you're going through these villages, and I said things like neighborhoods in the past, like don't go to Shouldville, Couldsville, Woodville, those are the or hood those are the hoods you don't want to be in. So uh think of it like that. Okay, so when you go back to look at all this, you can see how you tackled certain things, how you overcame certain things. When you bowed out, you're like, you know what? Mentally exhausted, done. You got this. It's your circus now, not mine. So, in a nutshell, this reading is about you getting that second win, because it's a lot of heightened, revitalized energy. But again, it's that energy that comes when you have to take a few steps back first. It's just like a bow and arrow, you're pulling it back so you can release the arrow so it can go further. The arrow is very strong, right? It's piercing. And that's our energy. Our energy is strong, it's piercing, it's going to pierce through our obstacles. It's going to get us there. But sometimes we have to take a few steps back. We got to pull back just a little bit. We even see athletes do these when they the few steps back, when they go through the three throw. I'm trying to pronounce that with the brackets in my mouth. When they go to make a 3-pointer is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes they take a step back and do the and then a swish. So focus on that. Okay, focus on what works for you, what doesn't work for you, who you truly want to have in your life, because this is the period of time where you're hungry for that next level thing. And unfortunately, some people in situations cannot come with you to that next level. And the last thing you want is to have all this great energy that you're mastering, understanding, and using to your best abilities be tainted by someone who is not good for you, or a situation that is not for your benefit. All right. So also I have a reel on Instagram and TikTok about this reading. So go ahead and check that out. Follow me. There is Cosmic Witch Goddess on TikTok, and Instagram is cosmic_witch_goddess. All right. So that's what I have for you today. Take care of yourself. So sorry that the first part of the reading didn't go through. I am rooting for you as always. I'm sending you so many blessings. And again, go ahead, check out that Instagram and TikTok if you want to see what the card actually looks like. Remember to be kind to yourself. Until next time. As always, Spiritual Trailblazer, thank you for tuning in. Do make sure to stop by and visit me at tiamariejohnson.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Last but not least, be kind to yourself. I'm rooting for you, and I'm sending you so many blessings. Until next time.